Hi, Laura Leda from Law Office Solution here. This will be an explanation of our boilerplate text pleading template. This template is popular with people who want to use Word for Mac. We don't provide all the bells and whistles we provide for Word for Windows on a PC for Word for Mac right now. But this simple yet elegant template ends most of the pleading formatting nightmares by optimizing Word's built-in features for a document that needs to be on pleading paper, like a California pleading. This is just a document we've saved as a template. It can contain any text and be set up any way you want. For example, you might want to rearrange the caption or have your firm address and phone number already in the template. I'll show you two primary ways this template will improve your quality of life. We have placeholders for text to make it easy to do the caption, page, and signature, and we have styles to make formatting simple. You get this set up the way you want it in advance. And then here, this is what's called a content control, and these are mapped. These we use for text that you want to have repeat elsewhere in the document. For example, if I have these three attorneys here, I want them to repeat their names down in the signature block. So if I click on the Attorney 1 content control and I type, let's say this is Mary A. Smith is the attorney name, that will appear down here as well because the content controls are mapped and they match up. And we can do that a few places, like the document title is also a popular place for that. I put that here, now it appears down here as well. So any place that you have text that repeats, those types of fields can be set up. The other type is just what we call a click and type field. It's just a very simple little placeholder, but what's kind of nice about it is when you click on it, you can just start typing. And whatever you type replaces it, as opposed to having to click and start deleting text out and then typing, which I see some people do. So these are just set up to be little places where you click and type. Okay, so that's just how the pleading is set up in advance, and you can see the footer is set up nicely for you. Everything's set up the way you want it. Now let's talk about the formatting. So I'm going to put some text in here. Oops, this is just going to be random text. I'll put, say, 20 paragraphs. And I apologize for how loud my keyboard is, but I love it, and I'm not changing it anytime soon. Let's talk about the formatting, because in a pleading, the big challenge a lot of times is getting the text to align with the pleading paper. So this is set up to align properly. Then, as you're working, there are things you want to do. Like, for example, I need to do a quote, and that's going to look single-spaced. So we have in Word a style. Now, I'm on the home ribbon, and this is the styles gallery. So if you're not familiar with it, a style tells a paragraph what to look like, essentially. So let's say that this paragraph here was supposed to be a quote. All I would need to do would be pick the style that is set up to be a quote. Click it, and it formats that paragraph as a quote. And then I can keep going in my document. Now, sometimes after a quote, I want to say id out to the left. I don't want it indented. I want the quote to be inside a paragraph. So let's say I'm typing along this time, the text isn't already there. We would have a style designed for that as well. So we have these magic styles set up for most of the situations you would encounter. Let's say these paragraphs I selected should be formatted for declarations. Here, I'll just grab a few of them. So we have a style for that. You can put that on so you're not fighting with the indentation and whatnot of the numbers, and you would just type along doing your That's all nice, but here's the really helpful stuff. I'm going to grab all of this and make it that body text style so that I don't have the quote and whatnot in here. Okay. One of the big frustrations for people in a pleading is the outline numbering or the headings. So we have those set up for you. So for example, if I'm here and I want to do, say, Roman numeral 1 introduction, we have some heading styles set up, and we've got them showing here on this ribbon. So I can just click that, type what I want. Now these are specifically set up so that when I press enter, it switches me back to the body text style. so that I can type a few paragraphs like we see here, you know, that aren't headings. And then when I'm ready, let's say this paragraph here should be level 2 of my outline. I can either click the heading 2 button and then type it, or if it's already typed like I have it here, I can just click anywhere in it, click the heading 2, and it formats it. And this is a styles gallery. I'm going to turn my styles task pane on by clicking this, and then I'll just double click it to anchor it against the left here. You might like having this up while you're working because I can have the styles down the side here, and then as I'm going along, I can just click the outline level I want and type it. Oops. Or type it and then click it. Also, we have keyboard shortcuts that you can press to apply the headings. So this makes life so much easier just to get those automatic numbers in place, indented the way you want, formatted the way you want. And because you use the automatic numbering, because you had the styles already set up for you and it was easy to do, you have some other benefits. One being, if you go to the view ribbon and you turn on your navigation pane, you'll see all your headings over here, and you can literally, let's say I wanted to take everything under prayer for relief down to the next level 1 heading. So I want all of this to be rearranged. On here, you can literally click and drag the heading to a new location, and it takes not just the heading, but all its subparagraphs. So now that's just Microsoft Word doing its thing, but it can do its thing because we formatted the text properly and it knows what we're trying to accomplish. And then I can also just click to jump around on these headings or expand and collapse them over here. I'm going to turn that off. But the other magic is if I need a table of contents. Because I use the styles, I was not afraid, I can just insert a table of contents where I want it. I'm going to add a title and set this up so we have a nice place to insert the table of contents. Because I use those heading styles, I can now just go to the references ribbon, and table of contents is over here to the left, and I can just pop in a table of contents. I'll just put the default in, and here we are with the table of contents. Basically everything that was formatted with the heading style is in my table of contents, and it knows what level it should be. And if I make changes to my document going down the road, let's say that this becomes level 2, and then maybe this is 2 paragraphs and they're both level 3. If I update my table of contents, I right-clicked and said update. Anything I added, deleted, etc. is going to appear. And because they're automatic numbers, you know, if I move these things around, when I move prayer for relief up above the introduction, it became number 1, introduction is number 2. And notice that the heading styles here, level 1 is all caps, bold, underline, Roman numeral, left aligned. That can be formatted any way you want. So maybe you don't want it underlined, maybe you want it centered. So that is what comes with this type of template. And then other things we could do as extras, we can include some auto text in the template. And I put one thing in here just to show you. I'll give you an example. This is not in here by default. I'd have to do it for you. But for example, separate statements of facts are a major pain to do in a pleading. So I made a little quick part for it. So if I go to insert quick parts, and I can make a much easier way to get to this. But if I come in here, I can just insert that. Here it is in the document. And, oh, I accidentally included this in it. That wouldn't be there. It would pop in like this. And then I could type my issue, whatever it is, here. And then right here, I start typing, this is a fact. Or I would type what the fact actually is. Then when I press enter, I get a paragraph that's not numbered. And then when I use the tab key to add a row to the table, I get the next number. Another fact, more evidence. So things like that we could have set up for you that you could just pop them into the pleading. Anything like that you have to use again and again could be a part of this very simple, no frills pleading template. Thank you for watching. This is my contact information and some of the services we provide. I'll have my contact information in the description on this video as well. Please let me know if there's anything we can do to help you. Have a great day.